The sun blazed like fire over the crowded streets of Balagan Market. Tomi maneuvered through the chaos, clutching her purse tightly and keeping an eye out for pickpockets. Traders called out, bus conductors shouted destinations, and the air smelled of fresh tomatoes, fried akara, and sweat. She was on her usual errands, buying fabrics for her boutique and restocking her accessories shelf, when her eyes landed on something that stopped her breath. A woman in a bright red blouse and matching wrapper was negotiating over a basket of yams. Her makeup was heavy, her nails long, and her voice carried across the noisy market. But Tomi didn't hear a thing she said. Her gaze had frozen on the woman's neck. There it was. That necklace. Mama's necklace. She could never forget it. A simple but striking gold chain with a coral pendant shaped like a teardrop. Inscribed on it, in tiny careful strokes, was the word, Faliak, her mother's name. It had always hung around her neck, a gift from Tomi's late father. Tomi blinked rapidly. It couldn't be. That necklace was supposed to be gone. Lost. Buried even. After the funeral 2 years ago, everyone had asked about it. Auntie Remy assumed it had been taken by robbers after the crush. Uncle Keod suggested it was buried with her. And Depo, her older brother, had brushed it off with a casual, "It's gone. Let it go, Tomi." But here it was. Right here, glinting in the Lagos sunlight, hanging from the neck of a complete stranger. Her legs moved before her mind caught up. She followed the woman through the stalls, weaving in and out of the crowd, her heart pounding with questions. Was this really the same necklace? Who was this woman? How did she get it? Each step brought back memories Tomi had tried to bury. Mama laughing as she stirred a gussie soup, the necklace swinging gently above the pot. Mama standing in church, head raised in worship, the pendant catching the light. Mama gripping it tightly in frustration the day before she died, whispering something Tomi never got to hear. Tears pricked her eyes, but she blinked them away. The woman was now seated at a buka, fanning herself while waiting for food. Tomi's body felt cold despite the heat around her. She swallowed hard, took a deep breath, and walked up to the table. "Excuse me," she said, her voice trembling. "Sorry to disturb you, but that necklace you're wearing, where did you get it?" The woman looked up, surprised. She instinctively touched the pendant, as if guarding it. "This? It was a gift," she replied, a small smile playing on her lips. "From someone I love." Tomi's heartbeat slowed, like a drum being choked mid-rhythm. "Who?" she asked softly. The woman looked curious, even amused. "A man. We've been together a while. He gave it to me about 2 years ago. His name is Depo." Tomi felt the world tilt. Depo. Her brother. Her blood. The one who said the necklace was gone. "Why? Why would he give you that?" she whispered, mostly to herself. The woman leaned forward slightly, sensing the weight in Tomi's tone. "I don't know what this is about," she said cautiously, "but is there a problem?" Tomi looked her straight in the eyes, her voice barely above a whisper. "That necklace belonged to my mother, and she died 2 years ago." The buka suddenly felt too small, too loud, too hot. Tomi stood there, her breathing ragged, the woman's face turning from confident to confused. "Your mother's necklace," she echoed, fingers still wrapped around the pendant. "Are you sure?" Tomi didn't answer right away. Her mind was a whirlwind, grief, rage, disbelief, all bubbling inside her like boiling palm oil. Her brother, Depo, the same one who had held her hand at Mama's funeral, the one who cried beside her, promised to protect her. He gave away their mother's necklace? To a girlfriend? The woman shifted uncomfortably. "Look, I don't want any trouble. He said it was his late mother's. He gave it to me on my birthday." Tomi's voice turned sharp. "Yes, our mother. That necklace was supposed to stay in the family. It wasn't his to give." The woman leaned back, clearly taken aback. "You mean, he lied to me?" Tomi wanted to scream. Not just because of the necklace, But because this was so like Depo. Ever since Mama passed, he had slowly changed, drinking more, going out late, lying effortlessly. She chalked it up to grief. But this? Giving away one of Mama's most treasured possessions to a woman he wasn't even married to, and not just any woman. Tomi looked at her again. This wasn't about anger. It was about something deeper. That necklace was Mama's strength, her pride, her memory. Now it dangled carelessly over someone's plate of jollof rice. Tomi turned away, tears burning her eyes. I need answers, she muttered. And I'm going to get them. That evening, Tomi stormed into Depo's apartment without knocking. He was on the couch, shirtless, watching football, a bottle of beer half empty beside him. Tomi? What the? She didn't give him time to finish. How dare you, she shouted. You gave Mama's necklace to that woman? That stranger. Depo sat up, confused, annoyed, then defensive. What are you talking about? The coral pendant. The one with foliage on it. The one you told me was lost. Gone. Buried. She was wearing it. Depo's jaw tightened. Calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. That necklace was all I had left of her. Why would you lie to me? There was a long silence. Then Depo sighed and looked away. I needed to let go, he muttered. Seeing that necklace reminded me of everything I've lost. I couldn't handle it. So you gave it to your girlfriend? Tomi spat. Do you even know what that necklace meant to Mama? To me. Depo stood, now angry too. You think you're the only one who loved her? I was hurting too, Tomi. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think. That necklace haunted me. Then you should have given it to me, not dumped it like trash. There was another pause. A heavy one. Depo looked like he wanted to say something else. But instead, he walked past her and sat back down. I'm sorry, he mumbled. But it's done. Tomi stood there, heartbreaking. She had lost her mother. And now it felt like she had lost her brother too. Later that night, Tomi sat on her bed, staring at a photo of Mama, tears quietly streaming down her face. She clutched the frame to her chest, whispering, I'll get it back, Mama. I promise you I will. The following morning, Tomi dressed in the blue Ankara skirt and blouse Mama had sewn for her birthday, the last birthday Mama was alive. It no longer fit perfectly, but that wasn't the point. She needed to feel close to her mother. Today, she wasn't just going to remember Mama. She was going to fight for her. The necklace had always been more than jewelry. It was handmade by their grandmother and passed down to Mama on her wedding day. A symbol of resilience, of legacy, of everything the women in their family stood for. Tomi arrived at the woman's place of work, a small fashion boutique in Surulere. She waited patiently outside until the woman came out for her lunch break. Her name, she had learned, was Adiz. When Adiz spotted her, her shoulders tensed. She looked ready for another fight. But Tomi approached calmly. I don't want a scene, she said. Can we talk? They found a quiet bench under a mango tree beside the road. The Lagos heat was thick, but it didn't stop Tomi from speaking with purpose. That necklace belonged to my mother. She died 2 years ago. That piece, it's all I have left of her. Please, I'm not here to fight. I'm here to beg you, woman to woman. Adiz blinked, obviously surprised by the shift in tone. She looked down at the necklace, her fingers brushing against the carved coral. He said it was his mother's, she whispered. He said she would have loved me. Tomi smiled bitterly. He wasn't wrong. Mama had a big heart. But she would never approve of that necklace being given away so casually. There was a long pause. Then Adiz unclasped the necklace, slowly, almost reverently. She held it out. You should have it. Tomi's hand trembled as she reached out. When the pendant landed in her palm, it felt like a part of her mother's spirit had returned. A warmth flooded her chest, bittersweet and overwhelming. Thank you, she said through tears. You have no idea what this means to me. Adiz nodded, eyes misty too. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Later that evening, Tomi stood in front of her mirror, the necklace now secure around her neck. She imagined Mama standing behind her, smiling. Then her phone buzzed. It was a message from Depo. I heard what you did. I didn't know you cared that much. Come over tomorrow. We need to talk. Tomi stared at the message. Her chest tightened. Maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the end for her and Depo. But she knew one thing for sure. She had reclaimed her mother's legacy, and no one would ever take it from her again. Tomi stepped into Depo's apartment the next day with her heart in knots. The scent of fried plantains hit her first. Depo was cooking. That was rare. He hadn't cooked a proper meal since Mama died. You came, he said quietly, wiping his hands on a kitchen towel. His face looked tired, older somehow. Guilt-aged people, she thought. Tomi nodded, her voice firm. You asked me to. They sat opposite each other at the table, two siblings who hadn't spoken properly in months. The silence was thick. I messed up, Depo said at last, eyes lowered. I gave away something I had no right to give. I wasn't thinking straight. Honestly, Tomi, I didn't think you cared. Tomi's voice cracked. How could you say that? I loved Mama with every fiber of my being. I cleaned her body before the funeral. I held her hand when she slipped away. I lived every moment of her absence like it was a punishment. Depo swallowed hard. I avoided everything. I shut down. I told myself I was protecting her memory by pushing her away. But I was just protecting myself from the pain. She reached into her bag and placed the necklace gently on the table between them. This, she said, isn't just coral and gold. This is every story she ever told us. Every prayer she whispered. Every time she stayed up nursing us through fever and heartbreak. This is Mama. Depo's eyes brimmed with tears. I want to remember her too, just without the shame. Tomi stood up, walked around the table, and hugged her brother tight. For the first time in years, he wept openly in her arms. We both lost her, she whispered. But we still have each other. And we owe it to her not to break what's left. That weekend, Tomi and Depo returned to their mother's gravesite for the first time together. Tomi wore the necklace proudly, the sun catching its shimmer. They cleaned the weeds around her tombstone, poured libation like she used to do for their grandparents, and sat under the shade of the old cashew tree beside her grave. They talked for hours about Mama, about each other, about healing. And when they left, something had shifted. They didn't feel empty anymore. They felt home.